Hello everybody and welcome to another video. 40 billion tax hike in today's budget. Yes, that's what this lying, no good government has put on to the people in today's budget. 40 billion in tax hikes. I hear you say, where is all this money coming from? Well, it's got to come from tax, hasn't it? I mean, you've only got to look at what's going on with the winter fuel payments being taken away from the pensioners, the bus fares going up, and also the employers' national insurance is going up as well, and other taxes as well. That's what Rachel Reeves has put up today. I'm afraid to say this is not this budget is not going to go down well with the voters. Starmer's approval ratings are already tanking. After this budget, I expect his approval ratings to go down even lower. I'm afraid what they're doing is they can kiss goodbye their chances of winning the next election, because their chances of winning the next election have gone. They won't win the next election. And of course, what's going to happen as well is with the employers' national insurance going up, there's going to have to be job cuts. And because you can bet your life that firms will have to start and lay off workers. They're going to have to start laying off people, because unemployment will start to go up. And the more unemployment goes up, the more the government have got to pay out universal credit. And the government won't like that, but it's their own fault for doing this. I think that Rachel Reeves has lost the plot. I mean, how she can come up with these kind of figures, I do not know. Or what? I don't think she come up with these figures herself. She got somebody else to do it for her. But like I said, this is going to cost Labour the next election. They can kiss it goodbye, because they've got no chance of winning the next election by doing this. I mean, they've promised money. The Chancellor's promised money for house building, but how are they going to find the money for that? You know, they haven't said, have they, where the money's going to come from. It's coming from tax. That's the only place it could come from. I mean, in their election manifesto, they lied to the voters. They misled the voters. Because the only good thing Starmer is good for is a liar. All he does is lie. I begin to think that this government is not ready to govern the country. They're out of their depth. They seem to think that money grows on trees. They've got a magic money tree that they got and just pluck money out of the trees, just like Corbyn had when in the 2019 election. But I'm afraid to say that Starmer is proving to be one of the worst prime ministers this country's had. It's any wonder that he's poll ratings are falling, and they are falling alarmingly, and they'll fall even more after today's budget, because I don't think anybody's impressed with this. The business leaders are not impressed, and most important of all, the voters. I should like to see what the headlines will be tomorrow in the newspapers, how the newspapers report this. I know one newspaper, though, will think it's the best budget ever by a Labour Chancellor. That lefty newspaper, the Daily Mirror. Oh, they'll think it's wonderful. Oh, and let's not forget the Guardian as well. The Guardian, that's a lefty newspaper. And one or two others, those two will think it's wonderful. Britain will be better off. This budget will make Britain better off. Well, it won't. It won't make us better off. What Reeves has done is made sure that by the end of this Parliament, and by the time we have another election, Britain will become bankrupt. Now, Labour are going to bankrupt us with the money they're going to borrow. I don't know how they're going to. Of course, they're going to have to find a way of paying it back. I don't know what they're going to do. But yes, they say there's a 22 billion black hole. But by the end of this Labour term in government, more like an 80 billion black hole will appear by the time the next election. Yes, I think that this is the death nail in Starmer's coffin come the next election, because he's not. Labour will not win the next election. Not with this budget. They're done for. And hopefully that when the time comes for the next election, those who voted Labour in July will begin to realise that they shouldn't have voted for them in the first place. Like I said, going back to their manifesto, he lied to us. In their Labour lied to us, everybody. They said they wasn't. The things were. They said they was going to look after the old age pensioners. They said they'll be all right. We won't touch the winter fuel allowance. The liars, but they did, didn't they? And like I said, the bus fares are going to go up at the end of the year, and I'm afraid those working class, the workers, will have to pay about £6 a week to get to work in the mornings and the evenings when they come back. And of course, we've got the dark nights now. That's going to make even everybody more miserable in the winter. So I'm afraid to say that it's looking like it's the end for Labour at the next election. Surely people who voted for them can see now what the liars they are, and that they won't bother to vote for them again. But I don't think the Conservatives will probably be in any position to win the next election. It's their they decide who they're going to have as leader at the weekend on Saturday. I don't think anybody's bothered really about who's leader of the Conservatives. But the way things are going for Starmer, I think he's going to have to decide. He'll have to resign. Because sooner or later he's going to have to resign, Starmer, because he's not fit to be Prime Minister. You can see he's out of his depth. He's out of his league. And but like I said, it's only a matter of time before they decide that they've had enough of him and they get rid of him. I don't know what we've got to do to shove him out the door. It's going to have to take something to get rid of him. I don't know what. But anyway, that's the end of this video. Mr. Politics here, signing off. And remember, don't believe the lies.